Anime finished this year number 51, The Gene of AI, 7 out of 10. I love a good sci-fi series that presents concepts but doesn't give a concrete answer all the time. Sometimes the series likes to show its hand where it falls on the ideas that it's presenting, but there are times where it really leaves things up to interpretation, which is important for the genre. The stumbling block early on was that the visuals of the show just weren't keeping up with the writing. They could be stiff and didn't always match what everything else in a scene was going for. This didn't need the highest tier of visual work in the world, but I think it needed to be upgraded just a smidge if everything was all going to come together. The stumbling blocks that came later on were when the cracks started to show a little more. First, there was the issue that the philosophical questions got a little less interesting than they were before. We strayed out of the realm of sci-fi concepts and into the world of things that were a little more related to interpersonal relationships. That's all well and good, but the way that these things were spread out and balanced led certain stories to clump together, which could hinder the flow and make it feel like we were lingering on similar things just a little too long. The other issue is the way this series wanted to both have an overarching story, but also didn't want to commit to moving away from the more episodic stories and ideas that it was exploring. This meant that everything to do with Dr. Pseudo's background, motivations, and narrative was shoved into very tight blocks instead of sprinkled over the whole show. His story ends up leaving off in a place that both is and isn't satisfying, but also ends up feeling rushed in the final episode. I know this is something that is likely the result of the source material, but adaptational changes could have served to make this stronger as a whole.